For track, I was a sprinter, and I did some field, but most of the time it was relays. Where all my records were predominantly held were in sprints and relays, short relays.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have state records?
I did.
Don't mean to make you talk about yourself modestly, but
I had them all at Mercy, and they all got beat when I went back to coach. They got beat by players of mine.
I guess that's a credit to you as well.
I'd like to think that. But I ran state. One of the, actually a story that I tell, and again, I appreciate you letting me talk about myself. I was blessed. I had a very athletic class. And all my dear friends, best friends, were all athletes. So it was very easy. So the difference between me when it came to soccer was what I ended up playing in college. I was very fast and I had a really strong foot. So I stood out. And as a junior, that was when I was first named an All-American. And I always said that I was simply the representative for a great team, that I had the honor to go and represent our team. So I was able to play internationally, and in that part of that experience, I was asked to play on the Olympic development team, which at the time had UC's head coach was the head coach for this team. I would go from 2 hours of running sprints because I was running state at West High's track, and then race over to Walnut Hills for practice. And I was only a junior, and so I was with all these seniors who were amazing. They danced on the ball, they were graceful, they were skilled. I was strong and fast, and I was a defender. There was no grace to my abilities back then. So when I got there, I would just watch in awe. I mean, these were all the girls who, as a soccer player, I idolized from all the different schools. And I remember the coach came over to me and she said, off the cuff, "You'll never make it in college." And
wow.
Here I am
Why?
Thinking, well, I was shocked, and I asked her the same thing, and she's just like, "Well, you don't play all year round." And I was dumbfounded. I said, "I'm running for my high school. I'm a state runner. I have this accolade in soccer. I do all of these activities at Mercy. I loved it." And she was the first person in my entire life that ever told me that I couldn't do something that I didn't try. And I was stunned. And so finally I actually had the nerve to tell her that I was shocked that somebody in her position would ever say to somebody in my position at my age that I couldn't do something. Later on in life, I went on and played on a full academic athletic ride down in South Florida.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I played in Europe for a while. And then I came back and I coached at Mercy High School, at my alma mater. And I used that comment as a basis with all of my players of, don't ever think you can't do something if you don't try. And later on, I had some players play for her, and I told her, I don't know if you remember saying this, but it's something that I've passed along in general, because this campaign I have found to be very humbling. And people ask how you don't often hear that political issues would be humbling. And I said, well, there's not a community that I haven't been into. There's not an event that I've been at. There's not something where I've been that somebody doesn't know me or my family or something with me. And I think it's a prime example of, you should always be cautious of what you say, because you never know. It's like that book of 5 people you meet in heaven. You never know who you're going to impact. And that's what I went back and I told this coach. I don't think that you knew that one comment I would embrace and use as a mantra my entire life. Because with this campaign, I have said the same thing. Don't tell me that this is the way it is and this is the way it should be. Just because politics can be dirty doesn't mean that they have to be dirty. Just because there are things out there that are this way, in my opinion, I'm a female, we fight the system,